I know that.
But hopefully, as we run through a couple of them, we'll feel less badly about them. I guarantee we will, actually. I guarantee we will. Let me clear that board. And I'm going to slap a whole bunch on the board. And I want you guys to either work individually if you want to, or work together if you want to. But I want you guys to get some solutions to these, and then in about 10 minutes we'll reconvene, and we'll make sure we're all caught up on how to work them. Then I've got an in-class quiz we can bang out together. We can bang out together as we go. So here's a bunch of equations. I wrote a bunch down. Let me get them on the board for you. Then we can actually take this out in the world and use it. So here's a few. Solve each of these for x. 3x plus 5 equals 9. This is completely boring mathematics, I know. But it's kind of like we have to know how to use the Phillips head screwdriver before we can build a beautiful bookshelf. This is the Phillips head screwdriver and how to use it. We'll build the bookshelves as we go, starting next week. But let's get some nuts and bolts out of the way first. Solve for x, like I said, in each one of these. 2 times quantity x minus 1 is 14. Let's do x over 2 equals 6 over 7. 3 over x. These are some of my favorites right here. I love these the third and fourth I just wrote down. Some of my favorites because they show up. If any of you guys have ever built like a shed or built a fence or cut a diagonal brace for a door, those equations show up when you're cutting your lumber. And there's an old adage when you're making things like walls and fences: measure twice, cut once. And math counts as measurement. Not entirely, because you have to use the tape measure too correctly, which we'll use that on Monday as well. But at any rate, then we got 3, and this is one of the ones that gives some students agita, so I want to make sure we relieve the agita. And then we're going to throw one that I know you've used before up there as well. So there's 6 little equations. Take a few moments, take like 10 minutes or so. Work either alone or with each other. Solve each one for x. Solve each one for x, and then let's reconvene and teach each other, if we've forgotten how to solve these, how to solve these. Okay? Because these are the kinds of equations. It doesn't get much crazier than this in this course. But I want to make sure that before we start, we've got at least this dialed in, so that way we can hit them in stride. Like when we encounter this, my goal for next Wednesday is to have us outside on the track at Mazama, measuring the biggest pine tree out there, without actually having to climb the biggest pine tree out there. Settle down, y'all. So the idea, though, is in order to do that, we have to solve an equation that looks just like one of those, with different values, I'm assuming, depending on what units we use to measure them. So I want to be able to encounter these things kind of in stride. So let's shut this down.